Mama Cass will kick your ass. The end of a tough cycle. The end of a tough cycle approaches. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you are wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritise it more. Attune to the moon. Release control and trust the universe. Additional meanings for this card is the second page. A professional project may be ending now. Admit if you have been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private lives. It's time to stop fearing the worst. The teaching. The full moon in Capricorn has a very strong work ethic and energy, and will more than likely come up when you're asking a professional question. If your question is about another matter, it will serve as a much-needed reminder to move through any feelings of hopelessness you may have been feeling about your situation, and this applies no matter when you draw the card. Making a plan is a far better use of your time. New moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. Whatever is coming your way, it looks set to put a smile on your face. The new moon in Sagittarius can mark the restart of fun after a period of feeling low. The energy is adventurous and even willing to take a few risks. But be careful, you don't bet the farm on something here, as the wheel of fortune is still spinning. The card is about exploring life metaphorically by exchanging big ideas with others, or just thinking about your own philosophies. Perhaps it's time to change your mind about something important. It can also signal that a trip away is coming up, if that's something you're working to achieve. But the overall message of this card is that whatever happens next will be some sort of gift, even if that simply means widening your worldview. Attune to the moon, count your blessings literally, write them down or say them out loud. Additional meanings for this card: you need to laugh more. This is a wonderful time to start a course or study or teaching. Don't be narrow-minded. Start a week of gratitude practice, e.g. via Facebook, a journal or blogger. The teaching, Sagittarius, is the sign of fun, travel, exploration and the great cosmic quest. It is the sign of big ideas. Its energy is expansive, upbeat, lucky and divine. The new moon in Sagittarius exudes all this, as does this card whenever you draw it. Nothing is set in stone with Sagittarius, and an optimistic energy could attract all manner of good things if you tap into the energy by expecting the best. New moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. Ooh, I like that. New moon eclipse. Those of you who don't want to listen. If you want affirmation that you can achieve your dreams and get the desired outcome on this situation you are asking about, then this is it. This is a card of beginnings, and there are powerful energies at work, but be prepared, it could be quite a ride, and events now could even be jarring and uncomfortable. However, any new directions you take will almost always lead somewhere better than where you are at the moment. Whatever is happening now is happening for a reason. You'll appreciate later on. A new portal is opening up, and all you have to do is have the courage to forget about the past and move through it. You're being put back on the right path, and there is nothing to fear. Attuned to the moon, never mind the past, life evolves every single day. Additional meanings for this card, yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. You're being shunted towards your life purpose. Whatever is happening now is happening for your highest good. This is an important turning point in your life. The teaching, new moon eclipses are among the most exciting astrological events. They herald a complete change of pace. It is as though you're headed in one direction, probably being guided by your ego, and then here comes the divine, the goddess, or spirit, to turn you instead to face the direction you actually need to go. Regardless of whether or not there's a new moon eclipse happening when you pull this card, it's a powerful affirmation of positive turnarounds. Lovely. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. If you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, take this card as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop it. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around the situation you're asking about. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time for you to release them. This card heralds an emotionally intense time, since both the full moon and Scorpio themselves are both extremely intense. It's time for you to feel all your feelings. There could be some nastiness in the air when you pull this card. If that's the case, take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. For some, however, this card has a totally different meaning. Your sex life can improve now if you make an effort. Use your magic. You have all you need to inside you to bring about your desired result. Attune to the moon. Emote, it's all better out than in. Additional meanings for this card. It's time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. You're right to have your suspicions. Grudges are toxic. Let something go. The end of an argument. The teaching. The full moon in Scorpio has a sting in its tail. It can herald a vindictive end to a relationship. It can also be a time when we want to be good but we're naughty. If you pull this card, no matter when, your dark side and your shadow self may be showing. The full moon in Scorpio is also a time of magic. If you were thinking of making some magic, this is your sign to do it. Ooh. Balance spirituality and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Attune with the moon. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. Additional meanings for this card. You're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is a soulmate. Avoid substance abuse. The teaching, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's at a time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous Piscean energies that have no borders, so feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It is also a time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. So have faith in your dreams. Waxing crescent moon. Don't give up. The situation you're asking about is still taking shape. You're nowhere near the end of the story. Whatever is happening now is just a step along the way. As they say in the self-help classics, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. However, the waxing crescent card is a reminder that you must still keep working towards whatever it is that you want. If you can't take practical steps, spend time meditating on the question you're asking about and allow your higher self to download information to you about your best next step. Overall, this card suggests there is every reason to be hopeful for a very positive outcome to the situation you're asking about, so keep the faith. Attuned to the moon, I am focused on what I want. Additional meanings for this card: just because you can't see your dreams, it doesn't mean they're not manifesting. Don't look back, stay focused on moving forwards. Be patient as events unfold. Dig a little deeper to find more courage. The teaching: the waxing crescent moon is the second moon phase in the 8 main moon phases. But even if it's not the time of the waxing crescent moon, when you pull this card, it still suggests you need to really pursue your dreams. It's the time to put your foot down hard as you chase your goals. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. This card speaks of dreams and romance, of soulmates and poetry. It suggests there's a new start coming your way that's connected to a matter that leaves you feeling somewhere between having your head in the clouds and being in a totally altered state. Dear. There could be confusion and disappointment if that's what you've had before and that's what you're expecting. However, if you're onto a good thing, then wish hard, because the words of your soul and your heart could help bring about the manifestation of your dreams. If all that sounds a little wet and watery, then that's Pisces for you. This is the last sign of the zodiac, and the new moon in Pisces card can suggest a last-ditch chance to make your dreams come true. Attune to the moon. Use your feelings to guide your way. Logic won't work right now. Additional meanings for this card: face your fears. They may be holding you back. This situation is being healed. It's time to surrender to the divine. Chant Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. Avoid being deceptive or willingly deceived. The teaching: Pisces is the sign of reveries and mysteries, or depths of emotion, idealism and hopeless romantics. It is the sign of water and the unconscious. Its energy is deep like watery depths. The new moon in Pisces indicates a time to listen to your feelings and to allow your emotions free rein. Whatever you're feeling as you pull this card is more likely than the truth, unless you've been kidding yourself somehow and only you know if that's the case or not. Don't let your past hold you back. South Node. The South Node, like the North Node, is a karmic point, but it's the opposite to the North Node and relates to the past, perhaps even to past lives. Whatever you're going through and whatever you're asking about, there's a chance that age-old programming and conditioning is stopping you from achieving all that you might. Do you feel stuck in something? This card will often come as a sign that the situation or relationship you're asking about has somehow become suffocating, even toxic. It suggests that someone, you even, needs to be released, that there's some kind of addiction going on or an unhealthy attachment that needs to be sorted out. One thing is for sure: when you get this card, you're being challenged to make some changes, even if staying where you are feels easier and safer. Attuned to the moon, I release the past. Additional meanings for this card: a relationship is karmic and has played out across many lifetimes. Your attraction to someone may be verging on the obsessive, and just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. The teaching: the South Node is where the moon crosses the ecliptic going south on the horoscope chart. It shows us what we are likely to become obsessed with, but which will probably do us little or no good. The South Node is the karmic astrological point that reminds us of the well-known phrase: if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So time to make change. A time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo. When this card comes up, it's time for you to take stock of your situation. Where are you and where did you want to go? The new moon energy of this card suggests a restart, and the Virgo energy suggests you make that restart a clever one that's simple and well organised. Virgo also has a strong health aspect to it, so if you've been unwell, this card suggests that your health is on the up, Virgo. Virgo loves clean eating and alternative therapies, so add these into your routines now. However you've been feeling, If a situation is blocked at the moment, it could be that you're over-analysing things or being too critical. It's time to ask less what someone else can do for you and to think more about what you can do for others. Attune with the moon. Recommit to healthy morning and evening routines. Additional meanings for this card. Gradual improvements are coming. Pay attention to detail if you want success without being pedantic. Be of service to others and love and money will follow. The person you're asking about is reliable. The teaching. Virgo is the sign of health, service and analysis. Its energy is precise and has a feel of the harvest about it. When this card comes up, it could be that a wonderful bounty is coming your way. However, the energy of the new moon in Virgo is usually about getting your life in order. So that's what you need to do at this time, at the time of the Virgo new moon, and whenever else you pull this card. Your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. Sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical. Sometimes you need to find a combination of the two. This card suggests that this is where you are now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want by imagining it, expecting it, welcoming it. But you need to balance that with taking down-to-earth steps towards your goals. This isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. Attune to the moon. Write down 10 things you know are wonderful about you. Additional meanings for this card. Laziness could explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity. More exercise is called for. The teaching. The full moon in Taurus is a time to get back to earth, to get grounded, to work through any negative feelings you've been dealing with, and to find a balance between being passionate and being overly intense. Money issues may come to a head at the time of the full moon in Taurus, but you can take this card as a sign to pay more attention to your cash flow no matter when you draw it. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Have you been letting your pride become an obstacle? Is the question you're asking based on your ego or is it from your heart? Leo energy is all about the heart. Think of the big-hearted king of the jungle, the lion. Its energy is magnificent, but when it's combined with the rush of the full moon, it can become over the top. This card may have come to you because you need to end a deadlock that has developed. More love and thoughts for the greater good are the solution to this dilemma. If you've not been doing as you would have been done by lately, this is the time to find a balance between your own needs and the needs of the people around you. This will help all your relationships. Attune to the moon, be magnificent without being plain too much. Additional meanings for this card. Self-esteem is good, vanity is not. Everyone is equally important. Creative urges should be followed, works and magic. A friendship may be ending now. The teaching. When the full moon comes into Leo, it can be a wonderfully bright time where people feel more confident to show the world their talents and assets. That's the upside of this lunation and of this card, no matter when you pull it. However, take note that the Leo full moon combination creates a sort of tension between your needs and the needs of the people in your networks. Leo full moon is a time to release pride. The energy is gaining momentum. Waxing moon. During the waxing moon cycle, hope springs eternal. This card is a very positive omen, indicating that you can create the reality you're dreaming of, though it will take some work and you're not quite there yet. This is a time of energies rising up. Emotions are building too. Where do you want to go, and do you believe you can get there? Either you can just keep meditating and focusing on your desired outcome, or you can make the courageous commitment to take more practical steps towards your goals. Whichever you decide, you are most certainly on the right track. Attune to the moon. I know I'm headed in the right direction. Additional meanings for this card. The situation is full of potential. Your dream can come true. More effort is yet required. Are you willing to give it? Review your goals and ensure you're still committed. Keep moving forwards. The teaching. The waxing cycle is the period of the lunar cycle from new moon to full moon, and during this time the moon appears to be slightly bigger and rounder every night. This is a very empowered and empowering time, and this is a very promising card. It suggests now is the time to make plans and to act on them, no matter when you actually pull the card. Bring love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is all about progress and modernity. So this is the time to move forwards. The new moon in Aquarius card means no looking back. Change is on its way and it could come quickly. Whether you get the change you want depends both on whether you believe you can have it and how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. This card comes with the suggestion that you may need to do things independently on your own, but be loving, not too pragmatic. Time may be of the essence when this card comes up. Aquarius energy has an electric feel to it. Certainly there is a sense that you need to let go of the past and move towards your future as soon as possible. Attuned to the moon, explore the idea that it's not what you know but whom you know. Additional meanings for this card. You need to be more detached from the situation. Thinking outside the box will bring the solution. More pragmatism is called for. Improve your karma by doing some charitable work. The teaching. Aquarius is the sign of invention, modern advances and technology and humanity. Its energy is a little brittle. It's individual, scientific even, and relatively emotionally detached. Many people think Aquarius is a water sign because the Aquarius symbol is the water bearer, but it's actually an air sign and is far more about intellect than the emotional water signs. As is this card, no matter when you draw it, dropping convention works well with this energy. What do you need to release? Waning moon. The waning moon points to what's falling away. Life goes in cycles, and sometimes we need downtime or to let go. No matter when in the moon cycle you pull this card, it's a sign that a situation has peaked, for better or worse, and it's time for you to go easier. It's the autumn and winter of the cycle. So what do you need to release? Almost certainly something from the situation you're asking about. This card can be very positive, but it can still be gently suggesting that you let something go and stop trying so hard. Attuned to the moon, it's safe to let go and move on. Additional meanings for this card. Move forward with as little resistance as possible. This is not the time to start new projects. Releasing emotional baggage is recommended now. Say sorry to someone. Do energetic work such as meditation or yoga, and soon you will see what lies ahead. The teaching. At the time of the waning cycle, take a moment to look up in the skies every night. You will see the moon growing smaller and smaller as she moves from full to new again. It's the time when things are falling away. It's certainly not the time to cling on to anyone or anything. Drawing this card suggests your situation is in autumn and winter phase, so hunker down and start the regeneration process. A new start is coming, new moon. There is a yes coming your way. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. It's totally positive and suggests something new and exciting is developing. The situation you're asking about is blessed and you are on target to achieve your goals. The message from the universe is that you're starting all over again in some way, be that on a new or better course, or just feeling more positive about achieving your desired outcome. If you've been feeling stagnant, this card reminds you that life goes in cycles and you're moving into a new cycle now. This is the time to wipe the slate clean. If the situation you asked about has become toxic, either that will clear up now or something totally new and fresh is on its way. Attuned to the moon. I'll see it when I believe it. Additional meanings for this card. A new start is on its way. You will soon start to feel more hopeful about getting what you want. Your belief that your dreams can manifest is working well. Forget about the past. The teaching. The new moon marks the start of the waxing cycle and the midpoint of dark moon. It's a dark and veiled time when the moon is invisible and a time of rebirth. It's a time that witches do their work, making wishes and laying down intentions for the new cycle, an intensely magical time when it's easier to pierce the veil to other worlds. Show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. This card brings the message from the cosmos that you need to detach a little from whatever situation that you're asking about. Someone might be keeping you at arm's length now, but it's no bad thing. It's important for you to allow life to unfold and progress, even if change seems like a frightening prospect. If you've been holding yourself back from showing the world the real you, this card reminds you that your unique characteristics are what make you special. In a relationship, you are being too aloof or detached, or are you being too aloof or detached? Go ahead and be yourself in whatever is coming up for you. Attune to the moon. Be aware of your feelings, but also be prepared to move on. Additional meanings for this card. Don't lose the beauty and romance of life. You are too much in your head. Get into your heart. A friend needs you. Be there for them. A situation is going to take a very unexpected turn. The teaching. Every full moon is a time to release and let go, but the addition of the Aquarian energy to the mix triples that message. Aquarius is the opposite of clingy, and pulling this card at any time suggests either you need to let go or someone is thinking they are ones who need to let go, perhaps of you. What needs to go? What is the right thing to do? Whatever happens next could be highly unconventional or unexpected. Prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus. This card will often come up when you're inquiring about a financial matter or when you're doubting your self-worth. This card suggests you can have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to the laws of attraction. Value yourself and others will value you too. You can create abundance. Taurus is associated with luxurious Venus, and this card holds the new moon energy, so now is a good time to make a 12-month financial plan. This card can also signal the start of a new relationship, or of sexier times. If you've been wrestling with something for a long time, the new moon in sturdy Taurus is a sign not to give up just yet. Attune to the moon. Get or give a massage. Healthy body, healthy mind. Additional meanings for this card. You will soon be able to afford the thing you're dreaming of. Getting clear on what you value most will help you find peace. Take some time out to pamper yourself. Start a standing order to a savings account, no matter how small. The teaching. We often feel that it's somehow wrong to focus on our finances, but the truth is that money can make life far more comfortable from a physical point of view. Taurus knows this, and the new moon in Taurus is the time to work your magic to create the money you want so you can have the creature comforts you want. Remember, though, that someone else is still wishing for what you already have. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. It's time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been humble to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far, and drawing this card suggests you may be underrating yourself. You don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough. At the other end of the scale, you also need to honestly answer this question. Have you been too picky? The full moon in Virgo card needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got where you are. Your next step should then be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. Tune to the moon. Find a balance between the cosmic and the mundane in your daily life. Additional meanings for this card. Worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. Have you been overly critical? An apology may be in order. Stop second-guessing yourself. Raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. The teaching. The full moon in Virgo is a time to declutter your life, your home and your office. It's the time to sort what's good in your life from what's not serving you. It's also the time to clear out your energies via salt baths and meditations, and to practice getting more grounded by walking barefoot. No matter when you draw this card, it's a reminder that any time is a good time to start living a healthier life. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. First and foremost, this card suggests a new start for you professionally. Whatever has been going on in your working life, this card heralds the start of a new and improved work cycle. If you're unhappy in your current job, this is the time to either renegotiate your position or look for something new. Whatever your question, whether work-related or otherwise, a new plan and strategy is called for. You need to take a look at the long term and think about where you want to be in 12 months or even 5 years' time. That will inform your best course of action now. So think seriously about it. Drawing this card suggests it's a time for you to be ambitious about whatever it is that you want to achieve. Tune to the moon, make a proper plan and execute it well. Additional meanings for this card. You need to be more disciplined to reach your goal. Hard work will make your dreams a reality. A very good omen for study or teaching. Don't be too controlling and avoid anyone who is controlling. Teaching. Capricorn is the sign of ambition, building and hard work. The energy is solid and rigid. The new moon in Capricorn is a powerful lunation that comes towards the end of each year and marks arguably the best moment annually to make a list of your hopes, dreams, ambitions and intentions for the year ahead. Pulling this card at any time suggests that with planning and discipline you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. Surrender to the divine. Full moon. The very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? But really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface. No matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card, matters will soon conclude and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favour as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. Attuned to the moon, I'm getting the answers I need. Additional meanings for this card. I wish you may be about to come true. It's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. It's time to let go of the past and move on. The teaching. The full moon marks the climax of the lunar cycle, making this card something of a power card. The full moon is often the time when answers are given to questions or asked during the new moon, and pulling this card at any time of the lunar cycle suggests answers will be coming your way before a new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. Give and take could well be the answer to whatever dilemma you're asking about. Compromise may be called for. It's time to start negotiating or even renegotiating. When the new moon in Libra comes up, there's a restart for you and for someone else. A new relationship could be beginning, and if that's the case, the chances are this will be a healthy and well-balanced connection. If anything you do after pulling this card, doing it in pairs is advised, such as teaming up with someone in business or in your personal life. Libra is the sign of relating, and this card suggests that whoever is at the heart of the issue you're addressing is someone you will be open to talking things through. Avoid being selfish, it won't get you anywhere at this time. Attuned to the moon, reach out to someone and let them know you care. Additional meanings for this card: feel more, think less. Marriage or engagement is on the cards. A legal matter will go your way. Pay some attention to your appearance, but don't be all about appearances. The teaching. Libra is the sign of love and harmony, negotiation and relationships. It is harmonious. Libra is the sign of love and harmony, negotiation and relationships. It is harmonious, kind and luxurious, and always aiming for balance. So when we have the new moon in Libra, or at any time you draw this card, there's a restart possible for anything and everything connected to partnerships, negotiations, appearances and justice. Remember that Libra is depicted by a set of scales. This energy wants to bring things back to equilibrium. Win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. The full moon in Libra, the sign of partnership, of falling in love and of closely relating to someone else. Since full moons are about climaxes and conclusions, this card suggests you're either about to start a new relationship or that an important existing relationship is changing somehow, perhaps coming to an end or moving to a new level of commitment. It's important to remember that people come to us for a reason and sometimes just for a season. If a relationship is ending now, it's just doing so at the right time, so try not to fight it. This card can also refer to a professional relationship. There's a sense that you need to balance your ego with someone else's needs. A win-win outcome is possible with give and take. Doing so might be the answer to your question. Attune to the moon, let go of that which is falling away. Additional meanings for this card: see the other person through the eyes of love. It will change your perspective. It's time for you to make a firm decision. Time for you to focus on yourself for a while. Look after yourself but avoid vanity. Now is a great time for a makeover. The teaching: no matter when you pull the full moon in Libra card, it encourages you to find a balance between your desires and those of the people around you. Balance is a very Libran energy, and the full moon brings things to a peak. Dramas and upsets bring partnerships to the fore. Libra energy also brings love energy. Negotiations are easier. Full moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution. Things are likely to get very heated, as full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign. So there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals or dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests both that a domestic matter or private issue will soon come to a head, and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is the time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. Attune to the moon, it may be best to move towards what you want in a sideways manner. Additional meanings for this card: meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be clingy. Stop sulking. Have you had enough family time lately? The teaching: the heightened emotions of the moon-Cancer combination can't be ignored. However, Cancer is one of the moon's two home signs along with Taurus, so astrologically speaking, the moon loves to be in this sign. In fact, she rules Cancer. This means that with this card, there's a sense of all is as it should be, or don't worry, all will soon be well. Mutable moon, nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable is all about change, shape-shifting, even that something is still developing. This card indicates that something is indeed changing and there's room for manoeuvre. So take it as a sign that the situation you're asking about is far from finalised. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvellous. It means you can still change the course of the outcome. However, there is also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable. For some, this is great news because you can still influence it. Others will struggle with the uncertainty, but should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing is set in stone yet. Attune to the moon. I know that the best will unfold for me. Additional meanings for this card: you're meandering towards your goal, and that's okay. Staying adaptable is the key to success for you now. Make sure you're not being led astray. Have you become distracted? Time to focus. Stay with it, whatever it means to you. The teaching in astrology, there are 3 so-called quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed and mutable. The mutable signs are Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo and Pisces. And when the moon is in one of these signs, you know there's going to be more flexibility in a situation. Anytime you pull this card, it suggests there's opportunity to keep visualising and affirming what you want, as there's still room for change. So think about what you want and enjoy the daydream. Void of course, moon. Nothing will come of this situation. In a form of astrology known as horary, where an astrological chart is cast according to when the question is asked and decoded, a void of course moon means nothing will come of this matter, or this situation will bear no fruit. This may or may not be good news, depending on what you are asking. For example, if you were worried about something, whatever it was, this card can be taken as a sign that there is nothing to worry about. However, if you're asking about a new project of any kind, including a new relationship, it's a sign to adjust your expectations or change things so you get a different outcome. Remember, the cards can only predict what you are currently creating, and you can change that with both behaviour and beliefs. Attuned to the moon, I trust in my highest good. Additional meanings of this card: the chances of something are diminishing. Something better may be around the corner. Believe that you will get what you need. Surrender to the divine. Take time out, meditate and contemplate. The teaching: this main definition of a void of course moon is when the moon won't make a major correction with any of the planets until she enters the next sign. The best thing you can do when you get this card is to chant the Sanskrit words Om Namo Narayani, which means I surrender to the divine. A void of course moon is time to just be. Take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. The intensity of the full moon has abated, and what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that the situation you're asking about has now peaked, and it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way things are now, and give yourself and others time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be on all the time. If you feel you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now is the time to reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself if you feel bad about the current situation, and then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. Attune to the moon. I am where I am and it's okay. Additional meanings for this card: you should know where you stand either now or very soon. You need to take some time out for your own good. It's time for you to share your wisdom and experience with someone else. Avoid falling into a slump. The teaching: the disseminating moon is the first moon phase after the explosion of energy that comes with the full moon. No matter when you pick this card, it suggests you're at a more tranquil point in the life cycle of whatever situation you're asking about. This is not the ideal time to start something new. The disseminating moon is time to breathe out, give yourself some time off, and think about what has passed. Hold your vision, fixed moon. There are 2 main possibilities with this card. The first is that you need to stand firm in whatever situation you're in. The second, very different interpretation, is that something is stuck. That could well be referring to the situation you're asking about. If that's the case, have a think about what you can do to grease the wheels so that events move forward. Are you being stubborn? If so, that's great, because if you really want things to change, there's a solution. Stop dragging your heels in. Be the one to break a deadlock. With 2 interpretations for this card, it's up to you to decide what's going on and which meaning applies to you. This offers up a chance for some self-reflection. Attune to the moon? Yes, just say the word a lot and see how it feels. Additional meanings for this card: stay in power, faith or patience are needed. Someone needs to back down, avoid stagnation. A personal or professional relationship will be enduring. The teaching in astrology, there are 3 quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed and mutable. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius. The fixed signs can be stubborn, so anything that's just starting as you draw this card may well last longer. Remember, we each have all of the star signs in our chart. It's just the way the astrological wheel works. So there's no judgment when we say that while it's admirable how much staying power the fixed signs have, they can also be obstinate. Work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. This card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark, it almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. This card also suggests that if you know you are magical, then this is the time to work your magic. It can also herald the start of a sexier time. If you've been experiencing something of a drought, and emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Scorpio is the sign that likes to go deep into body, mind and spirit, so when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. Attuned to the moon, have some sexy time. Additional meanings for this card: time to let go of a grudge you're holding, move on from jealousy, stop being obsessive. Could it be you're being paranoid? Make an investment. The teaching: Scorpio is the sign of death, rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, even scary. Not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpio demands it. In fact, it's through working through your dark side that you can get to the light. And the new moon in Scorpio and the appearance of this card at any other time suggests you need to do that now. Time for healing. Balsamic moon. Pulling this card suggests that the past is the past and a bright future is beckoning. However, before you take your next step, make sure that both you and the situation feel healed. This is not the time to paper over cracks or to simply pretend that everything is okay. Rather, you still need a little more time to heal and to soothe both yourself and anyone else in need. Then remind yourself that anything is possible if you believe it. This is also a time to surrender and wait to hear guidance from the universe. Powerful insights can be had. If you know that someone or something really isn't good for you, this card is a reminder to surrender. Start to work on your belief in your dreams so you're ready when your time comes. Attuned to the moon, when one is healed, all are healed. Additional meanings: it's time to let go of the past. You are about to turn the corner. You need more time to heal. Think about how this situation would look if everyone were healed. The teaching: patience is required at the time of the balsamic moon. It's a time for self-care as you slowly but surely prepare yourself for the new moon, which is just around the corner. No matter which point in the current moon cycles you have pulled this card, it is a reminder to go a little bit easy on yourself. The time to step into your creatrix power will come soon enough. Give yourself the time you need. Adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. Think of yourself as a vessel that has been filled more and more over the past few weeks. Some of what has come your way may have been wonderful, but there is also a lot of negativity and you need to let go of this. Whatever situation you're asking about now, be honest about whether there are toxic emotions involved, which you need to release into the ethers. This card also comes with the promise that all is not lost. However, there are changes or adjustments required before you will get to where you want to be. A change of course is forecast now that recent events have been understood and acted upon. There may also be a crisis now, which will remind you of what you want and what it's time to let go of, so pay attention. Attuned to the moon, I am re-evaluating the situation. Additional meanings for this card: your life may be out of balance and this may be causing your issues. It may be time to hatch a whole new plan. Something new and exciting is around the corner. Trust may be required to move this situation forward. The teaching: at the time of the third quarter moon, we know where we have been, but where are we going? The moon is now a half moon and slipping away from us as she catches less and less light, moving towards her full disappearance at new moon. It's a time of falling away and a time to reevaluate. No matter when you draw this card, the teaching is to release and to trust. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. This card is a reminder that it's important to speak your truth, but remember that your words have consequences and impact your listener. Right now you need to guard against indiscretion. The answers you need may well come soon. The issue you're facing could well be one of or a few conversations away from being resolved. If you're inquiring about a love situation, a little flirting may be called for. If you're in the middle of an argument, this card comes to you as a reminder of the old, very non-Gemini message. Least said, soonest mended. It's good to talk, but be careful you aren't causing yourself any issues with your words. Words have enormous power, as metaphysician Florence Scovel Shinn, 1871 to 1940, put it. Your word is your wand. You create magic and your own reality every time you express yourself. Attune to the moon, have an important conversation, but stay calm. Additional meanings for this card: don't be superficial. Someone is trying to flirt with you, have you noticed? You need to laugh off the situation and just move on. Job applications have good prospects. The teaching: talk, and more talk, as the emotional full moon moves into the communicative sign of Gemini. It's too easy to say too much, so mind how you go if you pull this card. This card can also indicate an enjoyable social event, since the full moon in Gemini is a great time for socialising. This card also augurs well for any study you're either taking or considering. You're very close to achieving your goal. Gibbous moon. The word gibbous means bulging. What a descriptive word, right? And pulling this card at any time of the month suggests that the situation you're asking about is bulging with possibility and coming to a peak. But this isn't an ending card with a neat yes or no answer. Rather, you're being reminded that some adjustments may yet be required before you get what you want. Though you're certainly on the right track, which is hopefully reassuring for you. However, there is also a sense that the situation is a bit tense, so don't push too hard. One false move and the whole thing could blow. That's not meant to scare you, it's just to let you know there's a fuse attached to this situation, so be careful if you choose to light it. Attune to the moon, I know that I'm on the right track. Additional meanings for this card: now is a good time to review your plans. Keep the momentum going as you move towards your dreams. Stay focused. It's a good time to start a new project. You need to get back into good health habits. The teaching: the gibbous moon comes at the very end of the lunar cycle, just before the full moon. She looks like she's bulging because she's almost a full moon, so she's nearly fully rounded. It's the culmination of the waxing cycle, and as such tends to be a rather intense period of the month. No matter when you pull this card, it suggests a very ripe time and a very ripe situation. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. Full moon eclipse, and just like that, a door slams shut. If you pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you are asking about is about to reach peak, or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for, a way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving the situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases it so you can move on. Attune to the moon, that which is meant for me will not pass me by. Additional meanings for this card: doors which slam shut now will not reopen. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation, pranayama and yoga nidra are all recommended now. Seed control and let events unfold. The teaching: full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it portends change, something many of us are uncomfortable with. But change is a part of life, and this card, no matter when you pull it, reminds you of the fact. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into what called the shadow itself. Work with your darkness. Emotions are running high. Supermoon. This card suggests that the answer to whatever you're asking is writ large like the silvery full moon set against the velvety night sky. If you're wondering how successful something is going to be, such as a job or a relationship, the answer is very. To use common parlance, the answer to your question may well be that it's under your nose. This card is about being larger than life, being special and bursting with energy that you can tune into and work with. You can expect plenty of good things and a positive outcome when this card comes up, but you may find there's a lot of emotion to deal with too. There's also a sense that the opportunities around whatever you're asking about don't come along every day, so take action. Attuned to the moon, success is close, I just must trust. Additional meanings for this card. A resolution to your question is closer than you may think. Don't ignore the obvious. Something exciting lies ahead. Make sure you don't blow events out of proportion. Speak to the goddess, ask her for assistance. The teaching. A supermoon is a new or full moon that takes place when the moon is at its closest point to the earth during its monthly orbit, an event known as perigee. If it's a full moon, the moon appears around 14% bigger at this time. The moon is known as the queen of emotions, and if you draw the supermoon card, regardless of when you do this, you can expect your feelings to be more highly charged. And excuse my son in the background making extra noise. Your commitment is being tested first quarter moon. There could be some challenges coming your way, but they're just the universe's way of testing you. The first quarter moon calls for you to face any hurdles with confidence. What do you actually think is possible? If you believe you can do it, then you probably can. If you spend your life affirming that something is too big for you to surmount, it probably is. See how it works. Do you believe your dreams will come true, or have you secretly already given up? Showing some commitment now will help you move towards your desired outcome. What you believe to be true is true for you, so believe in yourself. Attuned to the moon, I am committed to my dreams and move towards them with confidence. Additional meanings for this card. The answer to your question is yes, but not yet. You're halfway to your goal. You still need to put in a bit more effort. Sometimes we just need to realise how much we want something. You need to recommit to someone or something. The teaching in the lunar cycle. The first quarter moon comes between the new moon and the full moon. It's a time when the sun and moon are at a hard astrological angle to each other, and this can prompt a small crisis. No matter when you pull this card, you need to see any dramas as a stepping stone to where you want to be. It can also be a time when you need to stay strong through a storm. Believe in the impossible, blue moon. As the saying goes, some things happen only once in a blue moon. In other words, hardly ever. Drawing this card suggests you're about to get a rare chance and that something one-off could well be about to happen. This card is a very positive sign if you felt like you're hoping for too much or asking too much of the universe. Whatever you are asking about, well, it might only happen once in a blue moon, but it can happen. However, with this rare opportunity before you, it's important that you believe in it. If you convince yourself that whatever you're asking about can never go in your favour, then guess what? It won't go in your favour. Be grateful for this card, which is a reminder to believe in your dreams. Attuned to the moon, I'm lucky. Additional meanings for this card. Miss this chance and it might not come back anytime soon. What happened may only happen once. The person you're inquiring about is a rare find. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. This situation is unlikely to repeat. The teaching, there are usually 3 full moons between each equinox and solstice and vice versa. Sometimes though, we get 4 full moons in a single season. When that happens, the third of the season's 4 full moons is called a blue moon. At least that was the original definition of a blue moon. These days it's popular to use the blue moon for the second full moon in any calendar month that has 2 full moons. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing, communication. And the new moon in Gemini card is all about the start of a new cycle for communicating with the person at the centre of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you're asking about. If you can't talk to that person, you can journal about it to yourself. Emails, text messages and all other forms of communication will also help you now. If the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or neighbour, there's a new start coming, a time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest you've been too frivolous lately and need to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasises the need to communicate. Attuned to the moon, write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritising them. Additional meanings for this card: time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you. Read more books. The teaching: Gemini is the sign of communication and socialising, of ideas and travel, and the energy around it and around this card, no matter when you pull it, is speedy, gossipy and flirtatious. The new moon in Gemini is a wonderful time to get out and socialise. Gemini loves to chat. One thing to be aware of is that this card can also indicate being mentally scattered. Daily meditations will help to unscramble crossed wires in your brain. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. There is a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring you your heart's desire. Attuned to the moon, make sure you put family first. Additional meanings for this card: let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for your child or children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. Spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. The teaching: the full moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that, the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of her two home signs, along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favour. It's especially positive for family matters. Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. This card heralds the start of a new cycle for you, when you're going to look and feel more gorgeous, more in the spotlight, more like you have something worth showing off. If you want someone's attention, this card says it's coming. However, this may not happen all by itself. You have to be willing to do your bit. That means being proud of who you are and what you have to offer. Think of yourself as the king or queen of the jungle and carry yourself accordingly. This card is also a great omen if you're asking about a creative project you're working on. Alternatively, it can herald good news or a new start for your children. Attuned to the moon, make time to have fun. Additional meanings for this card: it's time for you to show the world what you've got. Shine your light, have some pride, spoil yourself, you've earned it. You've turned someone's head. The teaching: Leo is the sign of the big and brave-hearted lion of pride and showmanship and flirting. The energy around the new moon in Leo, and therefore around this card whenever you pick it, is hot and generous. This energy loves itself, and so should you. If you've been too much of a wallflower, this new moon card and the Leo new moon comes as a reminder that you need to be proud of who you are. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. The flame is lit, a wonderful new start beckons and you're on the right track. Drawing this card is a superbly positive sign. If there is something you want to happen in your life, take this card as a big yes from the universe. This is the time to really tune into your dreams. You may still have a long way to go. After all, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, but you're on your way. Determination, self-assertion and bravery are called for, but the hot fire of Aries is driving you towards success in whatever endeavour you're asking about. The caution: don't go too fast and forget your manners. Treat people well as you charge towards your goals. You'll create much better karma for yourself. Attuned to the moon, don't even think about giving up. Additional meanings for this card: do your best and be happy with that. Avoid being brash right now. You need a 12-month plan. A new male is coming into your life. The teaching: Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so the new moon in Aries is the first of the 12 or 13 new moons of the year. If you're committed to working with all the lunations, then the new moon in Aries is the right time to start, and drawing this card, no matter when you do it, signifies it's also the ideal time to start your moon work, such as setting intentions. Step out of your comfort zone, North Node. There's a strong feeling when you get this card that it's time to leave the past behind somehow, because you are headed in the right direction. If you want to be happy and fulfilled, you need to get going towards doing the thing that scares you, within reason. This card is all about living your life purpose, which is possibly what you've been asked about. It's urging you to dare to do something different with your life and your direction, to take action. So are you willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to live? If you finally find the courage to make the leap, there's a good chance you'll come to ask yourself, why did I wait so long? Attuned to the moon, I know I'm headed in the right direction. Additional meanings for this card: you're headed for something which feels like destiny. You need to face a fear and get over it. Time to stop obsessing about someone or something. Stand on your own 2 feet. You've got this. The teaching: the North Node is where the moon crosses the ecliptic going north. It's a karmic point, and on the horoscope chart shows us what we need to do and where we need to go with our life to find satisfaction, fulfillment and happiness. The North Node is the karmic astrological point that reminds us, to paraphrase Andre Gide, that in order to discover new oceans, we have to be prepared to lose sight of the shore. Be bold and make the first move, Cardinal Moon. Now is the time to be bold, bossy even. Take matters into your own hands. Cardinal signs are powerful and self-starting. They're determined and great at organising. Drawing this card strongly suggests that you're going to need to be all those things to get your ideal resolution or position in the situation you're asking about. This card may challenge you on how strongly you really want something. If you're worrying about a situation, is it a suggestion to be less passive? Instead, take an assertive stance as you steer events where you want them to go. Speak up for what you want. If you're serious about sorting things out, you may need to take the lead in some way to step up as a leader. Attuned to the moon, I'm taking charge of my destiny. Additional meanings: be bold and follow your heart and your emotions. Avoid recklessness or moving too fast. Come into your power. The time for action is now. Ask Ganesha, the Hindu elephant god, for help. The teaching: in astrology, there are 3 quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed and mutable. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. Remember, we each have all 12 signs in our chart for different parts of our lives. It's just the way the astrological wheel works. These are the signs that like to get things started, and which are the natural leaders. No matter when you draw this card, it's a sign that something new is starting and you quite possibly need to take the lead on it. A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. It's time to see if you've been a little bit too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level you've created the situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. Attune to the moon, be nice, be kind, smile and be polite as you navigate to where you want to be. Additional meanings: being assertive is good, just don't ride roughshod over anyone. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby. Sorry, but this could be the issue. You need to have more fun. The teaching: the full moon in Aries is a super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there's excitement about what may lie ahead, but tempers are likely to flare with rash comments or decisions. No matter when you pull this card, it signals that the situation is just or is about to come to a peak, perhaps in a rather heated way. There could be a price to pay if you have been too competitive or too blunt. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minor day can be counterproductive, or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't actually have exactly what you want. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Attune to the moon, take time out for a mini break or adventure. Additional meanings, this situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. The teaching, the full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there's a big wide world to see beyond our backyard. It's about having fun and being prepared to sail into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, it encourages you to look at the bigger picture.